Hi, I'm Josh, aka Kaminari, and in this video we're going to be going over my upgrade of my ProGCC controller, and it's just aesthetically, but gives me opportunity to make a video about it because I've had the controller now for about 4-5 months. I got it in October, so do your calculations in the comments. Anyway, let's get started because I think this is going to be a good one. I hope you enjoy and stick around. Okay, I'm going to take you through the steps I took, but initially you're going to either have to take apart a controller if you already have one, or if you bought separate parts, like put the controller together. I brought separate parts, but because I'm upgrading my controller, I'm starting from this step as well. So I'll leave a link to the videos and the guide they have on their website, and basically anything I think is relevant to like taking apart a controller, even if it's not specifically this one, just to help you through if you want to follow along. But basically, I'll show you, I want to talk about specifically the tricky bits, which I think is primarily the ribbon cables and the initial prying apart the controller, because it has one ribbon cable that that puts the front plate and the back plate together. So taking apart the actual like back shell that doesn't have any like electronics, it just is the primarily holds the like battery pack at the back. That's not really an issue to take apart, and I've done it multiple times with this specific controller. But you want to make sure you take apart the controller slowly so you don't rip the ribbon cable. So as you can see in the video now, I'm like slowly prying apart things even before I've got to that stage. The back has the main black plate, the grey part you can see there, has 4 screws, and then the actual back with the battery compartment in has 5 screws you need to take apart. And then it should look like this once you've actually got things taken out. I would recommend removing the ribbon cables and keeping it with the back plate, just because it's easier to work with, and you're not like trying to balance stuff in your hand. And then you can see I took apart the triggers as well. With this initial step, because I didn't have the clear rubber membranes, I basically just I didn't like the way the light kind of weirdly bled through the buttons, and also it was difficult to see the buttons, so I also painted the like indents white, but it didn't really look very good. It was a bit scuffed, so now I bought an eXtremeRate kit for LEDs, and basically just use the membranes and the buttons, and then the board I'll probably use if I mod a controller again, just because I don't want to waste parts basically. And what the controller I plan to do would be the Splatoon side order one, and that has a clear front shell. So if I got that one and it didn't have very good like bleed through in terms of the buttons, I don't think it'd be that big a deal, because the what's it called? The front shell would be clear, so you could see the lights regardless. But we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But anyway, I went for the chameleon purple-blue buttons, just because I like the I wanted to have a controller with that, or a Joy-Con, or whatever it is. So I just thought it'd be interesting to have that color. And as you can see, I'm trying to be very like specific and careful. And also, if you notice, the camera angle has changed, so I've got a camera stand that is a lot better at filming. I need to get better at intentionally having my hands over where the camera is, but it's a lot easier to work with this setup I've got going now. So I'm slowly getting things that help me make better content, and you can find relatively cheap things. It was during December, so it was like £11 to get a camera stand for a camera I already use, so it's great. So yeah, you can see the boards look different from the regular controller because they're the custom boards. So when you are in the Switch, it will come up like a regular what's it called, Pro controller, but the difference is it can't wake up the Switch and it doesn't have NFC support. So say if you're someone who like wants to primarily use a Pro controller and you like amiibos, this may not work for you. But if you have like a set of Joy-Cons you don't mind switching to occasionally when you want to scan an amiibo in, then you can do that. And that's what I did. Like, I feel like I use amiibos specifically in Splatoon, so it's something I think I find important because, you know, it's a feature of the console, and also I own amiibos, but it's something you can work around because just make sure you have Joy-Cons and a controller. I think I probably stick with one controller at the moment. It'd probably be something I do, like getting a second one. If I like started doing better on YouTube and stuff as like a new project, but at the moment I'd much rather like get Joy-Cons and things like that. That's another thing I looked into in terms of, because I've already modded a lot of Joy-Cons, but getting like a full-on custom set from like Etsy or something, where instead of just like EXtremeRate parts, they like customized it to be like a certain theme. I may try doing that, but we'll see. But yeah, you can see my orange Joy-Cons, and oh yeah, we'll have some modding stuff that's like cheaper end and easier for me to do later in the timeline, but it just means these videos are like few and far between because it's kind of a hefty ask, and also I make sure that if I'm making a set of Joy-Cons for myself, I've given away the ones I made previously, just because it means someone gets a good set of Joy-Cons that last, and I get an excuse of having like my set of Joy-Cons. So yeah, that's the current thought process, because I do like my orange Panda Joy-Cons, and I also like my ProGCC. Playing with it, you can definitely tell straight away, especially wired, the input is way faster than like any other Switch controller. Like the way they calibrate it and their software means that you can like customize the way the controller feels to your liking, and it's a lot easier to play with a bigger controller, but also it just means that like if I'm playing with a controller, I feel like I'm being more accurate and precise with what I'm doing. So that's always useful in terms of gameplay. I'll probably make a dedicated video to showing off the controller like while I'm playing a game, and I'll probably go with my hero just because I feel like I'm most active in terms of the controller with that or Splatoon. But we'll see. Maybe like a Splatfest video or something, because that's coming up the end of this week actually. So hopefully I can do that, because that sounds like fun. Yeah. This video is going up the day I'm recording it, so hopefully it gets good reception, because I'm trying something new with the way I upload. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new year and everything I said in the previous video from today. But one thing I did want to bring up, one of the buttons is not as like responsive in terms of like feedback, like physically. Like the A button is not as like clicky as it was before, or whatever you want to call it, like smushy. It doesn't have that like input feel. It doesn't. How can I explain it? It's like a switch that doesn't make the clicking sound. Like it's very obvious that I'm pressing it, but I don't feel the resistance. So it's kind of annoying because it does bounce back. There's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like maybe I need to take it apart and like remove dust or something. But it is a little irritating that I'm like the main button I'm using especially for a Switch controller is so finicky. So that's one thing you want to watch out for, because obviously with EXtremeRate shells, they don't need to be as exact. Well, it's not that they don't need to be as exact. When they're like sprayed or like or painted, sometimes the paint can affect things. And I've noticed that clear shells don't have that issue. Like they have a lot better of a fit compared to painted buttons and things like that from EXtremeRate. And I think it's just because of the fact that when you're painting over something, it has a chance to like warp or like change because it's, you know, reacting potentially with the plastic, or it's being dried somewhere and it's like warped as they like heat gun it or something, whatever they do in the factory. I'm not sure, I'm trying to just spitballing. But yeah, the only downside with the clear is obviously if you don't know what you're doing, you could crack it, but that's not really an issue for me, because once I feel resistance with the controller, I tend to just like stop there. Yeah, I do like the way the boards and things like that look in the controller. It is a nice touch aesthetically, just because, well, it helps with the fact that you know whether you have a modded thing or not, but also just it's interesting looking at like motherboards and stuff, because me like modding consoles and stuff, that's been a thing that I've really enjoyed, is the like knowing how the thing you're using works is quite the interesting experience. Yeah, I think we're coming up to the end here. I think this is me putting the finishing touches on, because at this point, yeah, you can see I've got all the buttons on, and I kept the analog sticks clear just because I think it goes with the I think the emerald green clear sticks go well with the chameleon buttons and triggers and things like that. So yeah, I don't think I talked about this before, but I am planning on like getting a Switch 2 in the like far future. So like either 2027 or like 2028. But like basically I'm like assuming, oh, it's going to be a couple years before there are no new Switch 1 games coming out. And that's basically my thought process of, okay, in the next couple years I would have had my my OLED for like 3 or 4 years, and then the whole thing like going on 6. So like paying £300 for that experience, and the fact it gets to be continued, I'm just like buying the upgraded console. It makes sense to me, so I'd be willing to do that. Obviously, I can't sell my modded console, but also I'd want to keep it anyway. So, and obviously I'd use the controllers I have because they carry over, but also because I have like a specific like pro style to controller. It seems ideal. Oh yeah, you can look at the lights the way I chose to customize it. It's kind of hard to tell with the camera I'm using, just because the lighting is not as good as I want it to be. But in the photos you'll see in a few seconds coming up, it will become clear. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys for sticking by, and then here are the images. I really appreciate the support I've had for the past couple months, and I hope to improve so that you guys can get better quality videos from me, and I feel like I can express myself in the ideal scenario. So yeah, thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the controllers images. Ta-ra for now. Goodbye.